You're listening to Cool FM. Cool FM is a TVH Group of Networks radio station. Tondo's greatest hits are here. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at 11.
Good morning, and welcome to koolNews at 11. The Bureau of Internal Revenue (BIR) on Tuesday said electronic marketplace operators such as Shopee and Lazada have started collecting the withholding tax on sellers' or margins using their platforms. Electronic marketplace operators will begin imposing a withholding tax against their sellers' margins starting July 15, 2024. We have already extended this by 90 days. No further extensions will be given, BIR Commissioner Roma Lumagi Jr. said in the statement. In December last year, the BIR issued Revenue Regulation 16-2023, requiring online margins with earnings of more than 500,000 pesos annually to be subjected to a 1% withholding tax. The tax will apply to half of a gross remittance by electronic marketplace operators and digital financial services providers, DFSP such as GCash and Maya, that are being used by sellers or merchants in sale of their goods or services through digital platforms. DFSPs also include credit card providers facilitating the settlement of transactions made through the internet and mobile phones. Gross remittance refer to the total amount received by an e-market operator or e-wallet provider from the online buyers of the goods and services. The Bureau circular provided a 90-day extension to allow affected parties to make the necessary adjustments prior to the actual imposition of the withholding tax. The withholding tax is not a new tax. It's merely a system of taxation where taxes are collected at source, which will be credited against the total income tax liability of the seller's margins, Lumagui noted. The Bureau aims to level the playing field between brick-and-mortar stores, which are regularly complying with their tax obligations, and online marketplaces. Whether their business is operated online or through physical stores, sellers and merchants have to pay their taxes, Lumagui said. The Bureau defines e-marketplace as a digital service platform that connects online buyers with online sellers, facilitate and conclude their sales, and process the payment of the products, goods, or services online. Aside from online shopping platforms, this also includes digital food delivery services and other sites used for booking resort, hotel, and other lodging accommodations. The tax agency has required online sellers and merchants to register their business with the BIR or BIR and submit a copy of their certificate of registration to the e-marketplace operator and DFSP prior to the use of their online facilities. For those seeking exemption, merchants need to submit a BIR receipt sworn declaration to the online platform and DFSP stating that the total gross remittance that they are to receive from the e-market operators will not exceed 500,000 pesos. Aside from the obligation to withhold applicable taxes before remitting the sales proceeds or payments to sellers, e-market operators and DFSPs must likewise ensure that all sellers are registered with the BIR prior to allowing them to use the facility. At the same time, the mobile payment service or e-wallet used for customer payments must be for the account of the seller's BIR registered trade name. For example, a customer using GCash must pay to a store's BIR registered GCash account and not to the owner's GCash number. Roberto Claudio, president of the Philippine Retailers Association, on Tuesday said that while the move was in the right direction, they were confused as to the intention of the memorandum and the specifics of the 1% withholding tax. If this is the tax to be paid by their foreign merchants and sellers, we find this completely unfair to local retailers who have to contend with a 12% value-added tax, Claudio told the Inquirer in the message. If such is the case, a rechargeable battery, for example, sold by a local store will pay the 12% VAT, while an online foreign seller will pay only a 1% withholding tax for a similar item, he said. Marketplaces such as Shopee, Lazada, Zalora, TikTok, and Shein pay taxes only on the commission they earn from the use of their platforms and not the VAT, which results in an unfair advantage against local retailers, Claudio added. Claudio noted that the BIR still has to explain the specifics of the 1% withholding tax and how it would be applied to online merchants or sellers. Mainly sellers using the top two online shopping sites, Shopee and Lazada, are from China. Robert Then Roses, chief economics at Security Bank Corp, said he expected a mixed impact of the latest beer measures reduced choice, he said. Rosas noted that balancing tax collection goals with practical challenges faced by online sellers would be crucial for the success of the new tax regime. Rizal Commercial Banking Corp Chief Economist Michael Ricafort said that the agency's move would be more effective in tax collections and would expand the tax revenue source of the government, especially in the coming years as more businesses decide to use online transactions. Given the boom in e-commerce and online businesses worldwide, it makes a lot of economic and fiscal sense to make this a major government revenue source for the years to come, Ricafort said. Ahead of his third State of the Nation address, or SONA, a Pulse Asia survey showed that both President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s approval and trust rating slightly dropped. Marcos' approval rating dipped to 53% in June from 55% in March 2024, while his trust rating dropped from 57% to 52% in the same period. Meanwhile, Vice President Sara Duterte's approval rating slightly increased by 2% from 67% in March to 69% in June. Her trust rating, on the other hand, remained unchanged at 71%. Pulse Asia, the survey published on Wednesday, however, noted that the figures showed that appreciation continues to be the prevailing sentiment among the two highest elected officials. The approval rate for Marcos was highest in Metro Manila at 61%, followed by 57% in Bansa Luzon, 56% in Visayas, and only 38% in Mindanao. Comparatively, Duterte enjoyed majority approval in all areas, with the highest in Mindanao at 95%, 80% in Visayas, 64% in Metro Manila, and 54% in Bansa Luzon. In terms of trust rating, Marcos remained in the majority in Metro Manila at 59%, Luzon at 58%, and Visayas at 54%, but not in Mindanao, where his trust rating is only at 35%. For Duterte, trust was highest in Mindanao at 95%, 72% in Visayas, 62% in Bansa Luzon, and 60% in Metro Manila. Meanwhile, the survey also showed that while Speaker Martin Romualdez only gathered an approval rating of 35%, the record was still 4 points higher than 3 months ago. Ambivalence remains to be the dominant sentiment for Romualdez, with 45% of respondents saying they were undecided. His trust rating also increased by 4 points in June at 35%, with 45% still saying that they were undecided about the official. Senate President Francis G. Escudero, meanwhile, held a 69% trust rating. No approval rating was recorded for Escudero due to the fact that he only took the helm of the Senate leadership on May 30. The survey was conducted from June 17 to 24, 2024 using face-to-face interviews among 2,400 adult respondents. It has a positive margin of 2% error at the 95% confidence level, with positive 4% error margin in each area. And now for the West Philippine Sea, China Coast Guard's CCG monster ship remains within Escoda Sabina Shoal, contrary to a previous report that it had left. Commander Carrera, Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, said on Wednesday. Carrera also confirmed the presence of a 135-meter CCG ship with hull number 5303 within the country's exclusive economic zone. The ship was spotted some 60 nautical miles west of Lubang Island on July 14, as revealed by WPS monitor Ray Powell. As of 7:30 in the morning, the CCG ship with hull number 5901 remains inside Escoda Shoal, Tarela said in an interview over Kapihan sa Manila Bay. The second ship, 5303, came close to Lubang Island. I would like to confirm that it was also true. We also monitored that it was moving away towards Palawan, and it's no longer there in Lubang Island, he added. Tarela said the PCG is now closely monitoring China's monster ship and has already deployed BRP Melchora Aquino in response to the other ship moving toward Palawan. On Tuesday, Rear Admiral Ray Vincent Trinidad, Navy spokesperson for the WPS, confirmed the monster had exited the country's EEC. It is no longer off Escoda Shoal, Trinidad said, adding that no replacement has been sent for the ship. When asked if the monster ship is still in the country's EEC, he said no. We have to check its latest location. Based on previous reports, CCG's gigantic patrol cutter, also the largest Coast Guard vessel in the world, had been deployed off Escoda Shoal on July 3. Coming up later on koolNews at 11, as more emerging market central banks push digital money. Philippines is ranked 29th out of 250 countries with most data breaches in second quarter of 2024. And Pfizer is developing a once-a-day weight loss pill. As these and more will return after these messages. Welcome back. More central banks from emerging markets and developing economies, including the Philippines, are starting work on their own digital currency, according to the 2023 survey by the Bank for International Settlements. The BIS, which is often dubbed the Banker's Central Bank, cited the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and its Project Aguila as an example of an EMDEs that is already engaged in some form of work on central bank digital currency, or CBDC. CBDC is a digital form of central bank money that is denominated in the unit of account and functions as both a minimum of exchange and a store of value. A 2023 BIS survey of central banks showed the share of MEDES working on a wholesale CBDC proof of concept as growing to 39% up from 37% previously. Meanwhile, the proportion of those already running a pilot went up to 19% from 60%. In the Philippines, the BSP last year announced a trial or pilot project for its revived wholesale CBDC initiative. Through Project Aguila, wholesale CBDCs may be issued to commercial banks and other financial institutions to settle interbank payments and securities transactions and cross-border payments, among others. The pilot run of the BSP's wholesale CBDC project is expected to be completed by the end of the year. Over the course of 2023, BIS said there has been a sharp uptick in experiments and pilots with wholesale CBDCs, mainly in advanced economies, but various MDDEs also step up their wholesale CBDC work. Central banks further enhance their engagement with stakeholders to inform CBDC design. Many CBDC features are still undecided. Yet interoperability and programmability are often considered for wholesale CBDCs, it added. The Philippines is ranked 29 out of 250 countries and territories by a Norway-based virtual private network provider with the most data breaches in the second quarter of 2024. According to the data breach statistics of Surfshark, the Philippines tallied more than 385,000 data breaches from April 1 to June 30. The number is also lower than from the data breaches the Philippines had during the first quarter of 2024, which was at 7.7 million, resulting in its ranking at 6th place. During the same period for 2023, the Philippines also logged 260,800 data breach cases. Meanwhile, Surfshark said that in the second quarter of 2024, there were more than 193 million data breaches worldwide. The United States had the most data breaches in the second quarter of 2024 at 116.7 million, followed by Russia at 25.1 million, and France at third with 7 million. The country that ranked 4th to 10 highest, respectively, were United Kingdom, China, Canada, Germany, India, Spain, and Australia. Well, Pfizer is developing a once-a-day weight loss pill. You can find several drugs that claim to help you achieve a slimmer figure, but they usually do not meet expectations. Fortunately, it seems Pfizer is close to creating a truly effective weight loss pill. The Telegraph said the U.S. pharmaceutical firm will start testing different doses of the experimental drug later this year. Michael Goldstein, Pfizer's outgoing chief scientific officer and president of research and development, said it will address the present and persistent medical needs of people living with obesity. The official Pfizer website calls it new weight loss drug Danuglipron. The company designed it to be taken orally, but no health authorities have approved its use. It is a type of investigational medicine known as GLP-1 receptor agonist. In other words, it is a drug that maintains healthy blood sugar levels by increasing insulin production. Danuglipron also slows digestion and boosts the feeling of fullness after eating, which may help people lose weight. Nowadays, Pfizer is conducting a randomized study to test the drug's safety and effectiveness. At the time of writing the weight loss pill yielded promising results. Michael Goldstein, MD, PhD, Chief Scientific Officer and President, Pfizer Researcher and Development, said the following regarding danuglipron. Obesity is the key therapeutic area for Pfizer, and the company has a robust pipeline of preclinical and several preclinical candidates. The most advanced of them, danuglipron, has demonstrated good efficacy in a twice-daily formulation, and we believe a once-daily formulation has the potential to have a competitive profile in the oral GLP-1 space. Until the weight loss pill reaches pharmacy shelves, Ozempic will likely remain the popular choice. The New York Times says it is diabetes medicine that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved. Eventually, the FDA approved a drug called Wegovy, which has a higher dose of Ozempic's active ingredient. Wegovy started getting public attention when Elon Musk credited his new physique to it. Okay, give me a second. The suspect behind the killing of an Australian couple and a Filipino at the hotel in Gataytay City voluntarily surrendered to the authorities early Wednesday morning, according to police. In a report, the Cavite Police Provincial Office identified the 33-year-old suspect using his alias, Ronel, a former hotel employee. Police said Ronel was at Tuay, Batangas. He surrendered to Municipal Mayor J. Ereto around 1:38 a.m. The course of the investigation revealed that he suspected revenge against the hotel's management for his termination from employment, which led to the tragic killing of the victims, the report said. Earlier, police said Australian citizens David Fisk, age of 57, and Lucita Cortez, age of 55, were discovered dead, along with Cortez's daughter-in-law, Mary Jane Cortez, by the hotel staff last July 10. Their hands and feet were bound, and their mouths were covered with packaging tape. Ronald is currently under Gataytay Component City Police Station's custody. And in international news, U.S. President Joe Biden resumed political attacks against Donald Trump on Tuesday for the first time since the assassination attempt on his rival, as the Democrats sought to prop up his unflattering re-election bid. Biden did call on you for Americans to lower the temperature of their heated politics and sought a ban on the type of gun used in the shooting at his Republican opponent's political rally. But as he returned to the campaign trail with a speech to crucial black voters at the NAACP advocacy group in Las Vegas, Biden did not hold back against Trump, who was injured in the ear. Biden said Trump's presidency had been hell for black Americans. Cheers erupted as the 81-year-old lashed out at the Republican for talking about black jobs during the recent debate, the same debate during which Biden gave a stumbling performance that has plunged his candidacy into crisis. Folks, I know what a black job is the Vice President of the United States, said Biden, referring to his running mate Kamala Harris, the first black and female vice president. But he opened his speech by saying he was grateful that Trump was safe after the shooting and said he wanted to renew efforts to ban the kind of semi-automatic rifle that shooter Thomas Matthew Cook used. Join me in getting these weapons of war off the streets of America. An AR-15 was used in the shooting of Donald Trump. It's time to outlaw them, Biden said. Biden's renewed political focus on Trump comes as calls by some Democrats for him to step down after the debate, briefly silent by the shooting, resumed. The Democratic National Committee, meanwhile, is pushing ahead with plans to rush through Biden's own nomination ahead of his convention in August, despite calls to postpone the process. Biden's campaign insisted the virtual roll call was necessary before the August 19 convention, as Republican-led Ohio had moved its filing date to August 7 and Biden risked not being on the ballot there. It is our obligation as a campaign to make sure that President Biden is on the ballot. Biden Deputy Campaign Manager Quentin Fuchs told a press conference in Milwaukee. At the NAACP meeting in Las Vegas, there was widespread support for Biden staying on. I found President Biden very full of energy, said Donna Jackson Huston, an AACP member from California. She admitted that I and many others had doubts about Biden's age and graphics after the debate, but he did a great job today convincing me. Tony Fields from New Jersey and said Biden's speech was very insightful, adding that the bad debate was just a moment that the president had that evening. Biden, who says he screwed up due to jet lag and illness, forcefully defended his ability to do the job in the major U.S. network interview on Monday night. I am old, Biden told NBC, but I'm only 3 years older than Trump, number one. And number two, my mental acuity has been pretty damn good. Biden also defended his rhetoric about Trump after Republicans accused him of stroking divisions, although he admitted it was a mistake to tell donors in a call last week that it was time to put Trump in the vote. Well, that will be it for Cool News at 11. As always, we will be back with more headlines later with Cool News at noon. Until then, I am Askir. Good morning.